What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Lust. Let Us Speak Truth. I'm your host, Nick. We got the panel on here. I'm a little congested. Don't mind my nasally, y'all. I sound hella nasal. Anyway, today's topic is going to be after a breakup and you have mutual kids. When one person moves on, why are the kids used as a pawn to separate one parental parent from parenting? So my first question is, why use the kids, y'all? Why they use the kids?
Well, a lot of times they use the kids because it's easier. You know what I mean? But it's actually called parental alienation. And that's when one parent brainwash or manipulate the kid using the child as a pawn for on the other parent. So it's sad to say that this is not a topic that has not been discussed before. This is well known throughout the court systems and through media. So,
Yeah. Go ahead, Trav.
Who's the main one that they usually does it?
Let's
hold on, Jay.
No, Jay was going down the right path. We're not gonna do this dumb shit tonight because everybody's in here together and we good.
Don't go there
This
too.
is not a thing that men do. Men don't do this dumb shit. This is something that women.
That's
so
that's not true.
No, that is true.
Okay.
If they took, and I got one remedy for it.
Men do it emotionally.
No, we ain't talking emotion. I'm talking in real life.
Shit, that's in real life.
That is real life. Yeah.
Listen, I tell you what.
Your mama told me that this is this.
I got one remedy for it, y'all. Make child support and visitation, as I said before, make them go together. They're separate. Make them go together, and that shit will stop.
I can see that.
It will stop. If you as a father, because the vast majority of the time the children are with the mother, if you as a father, if you take child support and visitation and connect them, women will stop that dumb shit, keeping kids away from the men. Because she gonna want that money. And if she ain't gonna get that money, she gonna be by herself. She gonna be looking silly. She'll say, go on with your daddy, because I want to make sure I get that 15, 14, 19, whatever that number is. But when they're not connected, then they get an opportunity to play these games and they move on with another man and they want the money, but they don't want that guy to be around. Men don't do this. Not in real life.
Hold on. Okay. Go ahead, Ro.
I agree with everything Trav said, except for men don't do this. Because I did it 2 weeks ago. My kids been living with me for the last 8 years. Right? They lived with their mothers for the first, 9, 11 years of their lives. And then they came and they lived with dad because that was best for young men to live with their father. I strapped it on, I took on that job, and I did what fathers are supposed to do. But a couple of weeks ago, they stopped paying me child support because we got into an argument. So I use my kids as pawns. If you want to talk to them, you got to pay me first. Stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like a sucker. I felt wrong when I did it, but it was the only thing I could do because I felt like I wasn't being valued. I wasn't being treated correctly because I never did it to them. So it was spiteful, it was vindictive, it was all the characteristics of a female, and I did it, and I'm sorry, y'all.
Did you need the money?
No, fuck no. You see my robe? It was something to do. It was just something to do. Like, but you know what? To me, it's not about whether you need the money or not. It's the fact that it's just your responsibility. The same standard you held me to, I'm gonna hold you to the same one. It's not about whether I need it or not. It's your job. It's your job. You supposed to do it.
Here's the catch, though, Ro.
For sure.
They're getting the money and they still don't want the father to see the kid. That's the difference.
That's not true. That's not true. Trav, that's not true.
So no, he's right in some instances. In some instances.
Them women.
There are some
in them.
I think in some instances that is true where men or women and men do keep the kids away from the other parent for whatever their reason is, whether valid or invalid. But if we're going to talk about women, because more women have custody of their kids than dads do. And that's just I don't know the percentages. That's just the reality.
I do.
So the point, shut up, 80/20. So the point is, talk about the real women. What
So
is
what I'm
about
saying,
real women and real men? Like,
but
not,
what I'm saying is I mean, there's two sides of this, because you have women that say, okay, well, you can't see the kids because you didn't do this, you didn't show up for this, or you didn't do this, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But then you have
that's the physical.
men on the mental side will be like, well, you didn't do this for me, so I'm not coming to see the kids. I'm not going to do this. I do, look, there's men that will go out to purposely do the bare minimum and compare themselves to nothing and still, and they're the ones that are usually using the kids as pawns, just not necessarily physically. They're not physically using the kids as pawns. They're using the kids as pawns mentally.
I'm
By
gonna give you
saying,
this money because I want some ass. Right. Exactly. If you don't sleep with me, I'm not gonna give you no money. I agree with you. I agree with you. It makes sense until I was on the other side of it. I'm not saying that I've done those specific things, but when I had the advantage because I got the 51%, because the kids live with me, I promise you, over the last 8 years, I've taken advantage of that many times. So there's so many more women that are single mothers that have the kids on a daily basis than men, but the numbers is slowly doing this. Just to be clear,
yeah.
I'm
But what I'm saying
one
too,
of the unicorns. Yeah.
what I'm saying too is when you have the custodial parent that is doing all of the work, and then the custodial parent acts as the non-custodial parent to help, or just to step in, pass the baton to, just for a day or a couple, and that other parent's like, nah, you got it, I'm not helping you. So the other parent that has all the responsibility is like, okay, forget it then. I'll take care of it and don't ask me for nothing. And then the other parent, when you
vote.
react, when you react that way, the other parent's like, oh, you're keeping me away from the kids. So we have to look at it both ways. Does
whoever
that make
got the
sense?
51%
But
vote.
listen. I see what you're saying, but that's that man's kids. I don't give a damn about what you feel like. Them his kids.
But some,
Don't keep his kids away. Them his kids. I don't give a damn about what you feel like. What
listen,
you feel like is irrelevant.
But I'm not saying I'm not saying the person or me or anybody's keeping the kids.
Not
I'm
you.
saying
I don't mean, Anita, what I'm saying, I don't mean you. I'm saying women that keep their kids away from the father. I don't give a good goddamn what you feel like. Them my goddamn kids. Drop them at the road and you get the hell on. And as far as your tired ass, don't nobody want that pussy. Give me my goddamn kids and get your ass home.
Let me
Hold
say
on.
something.
Go ahead. Hold on.
The pussy, the
Hold on, bro.
pussy.
Hold on, bro.
Bro, I'm just, you'll do as you don't want to do.
Go ahead, Tanya.
Let me interject something. First of all, Travis is very angry. That asshole needs some love. Let me say this for all the women. Men, when they get a new woman in their lives, they decide to exubate from the children themselves. And so therefore, it's the woman in the ear, and some men with the little mentality seem to fall for that. So it's not always the woman, my brother. It is majority of the men.
I know we just went to a 70s pimp show. That was a 70s pimp show, my brother. I appreciate it. I like that too. Cleopatra. I like that, Cleopatra. Look,
That's all right. You need love. You need some
No,
love, brother.
I know
You need
that's
some
not
love
what.
because you lost.
No, wait,
Right.
wait,
You
yeah.
lost.
Hold on.
Hey, Sean.
Like, real talk, like, I just feel when you do stuff like that, the kids see it. The kids are going to resent that parent that is acting out. They're going to know as they get older.
I don't know.
Oh, they
In
do.
the South,
I have
mom,
already did.
that mama though shit y'all got going on work. That's mama though. No matter what she do, that's mama though. That
No,
shit got
not
that shit
necessarily.
That's
strong.
because if the
That shit
kids are saying
strong.
that, that's because they see, they hear, and they feel, and they know that their mom is putting in her work and his work. That's why they like, that's my mom, because they know that their mom is taking care of stuff while their dad is not being present 100% of the time.
Neither-
So let's
neither-
be clear. When a child says that's my mama, that's my mom, it's because she knows, or that child knows, that the mom is doing what she should be doing and the dad's not showing up. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Go
That's
ahead.
not always correct, y'all. It's a lot of fucked up moms that people just go along with because that's my mama, though. Hell no.
Hold on, Trav. Go ahead, Tootie.
Thank you.
My parents divorced when I was 8, whatever. And they both married to their second spouse 30-something years later. My dad cheated with my now stepmother when I was 5, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward. My dad made a conscious decision to do what the hell he wanted to do because he's selfish. So I'm not gonna say my mama didn't want us to hang out with him, because even when he was way in arrears with child support, she still sent our ass down there every 2 weeks. Oh, well, you're getting your ass up out of here because I need my me time. For the summer, you still going for them same 6 weeks. I need my me time. So I'm not gonna say that money and visitation are tied together, because my mama was like, I don't give a damn. The money will come when it get here, but you still getting your ass down there. But when we say that's my mama, you always learn that whoever you live with, that parent sacrifices way more than the other. So we always stick up for our moms first, because if our mom is who we live with, we see how she doesn't get to buy herself clothes because she got to make sure we look like something when we go to school. We see how she got to call and make payment arrangements for light bills and buy groceries and all of this other kind of stuff. So you learn to accept and respect the sacrifice of your mother, which is why you fight for her. So you don't get to just fall off and say she don't let them go see him because they ain't paying child support. No, we go hard for our mamas because we know later on in life we saw what they had to go through to get us where we are. So that's why we box for them.
I'm that shit too.
And let me say this. Let me say this to the audience. Men that think like Travis is butt heads.
Yo,
Because
why you keep pointing the finger at Trav though?
Natural thinking. That's a gorilla mentality.
I am,
Because
and you know what?
hold on,
Gorilla
hold on.
get respect, though.
What happens is that people that talk as loud as your ass do, you hide behind the damn scene. You hide behind the damn scene talking about it's always the woman's fault. No, bruh.
I didn't. No, that's not what I
It's
said.
not always the woman's fault. Sometimes it's the father's fault that keeps his kids, or backlashes the mother. In a lot of cases, these things have happened.
Let me speak for the men that take care of their kids. Let me speak for the men that take care of their kids. I only speak for them. I don't speak for men that don't take care of their kids. And in Tootie's situation,
But that's 2080.
I'm gonna say this, Tootie, directly. Your mother was a saint for not tripping off the money. Now he should have been taking care of y'all. Whatever.
Absolutely, because my daddy had a damn good job. He a master electrician for the state.
Okay. I don't speak for those men. I don't speak for men that get in a relationship with another woman and allow that woman to dictate how he takes care of his kids. That's fuckboy shit. I'm talking about a dude that wants his kids, pays for them, and wants to be there. Now, if he's doing that, I don't give a good goddamn again how you feel. Give me my goddamn kids. I mean that. I ain't being mean. I'm very passionate about my children, and all men should be. That's my personal opinion.
Well,
If a woman is playing games with my kids, you're playing games with further down in life when they're gonna need me, and you're messing with a relationship. We're no longer together. Give me my kids. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, because I'm in here with them. When their car break down, come to me. When they got a problem in life, if they need a down payment for a house, when you're in college, whatever you need, I'm there. I'm gonna play whatever role. I'm the only man in your life as a father. If I got a daughter, that's never gonna want nothing in return for my dollars. If you're my son, I want you to grow up strong and be able to provide and take care of yourself. So you misinterpreted what I'm saying. I mean it passionately, and the reason I speak like this is because for women that don't allow men to be with their kids because they're with another dude, and I'm gonna say this: if you out there and you with a woman and you keeping another man's kids away, you are a pure fuck boy for going along with that shit. If I'm with a woman and she not doing right by them kids and not letting them see that, I will cut her ass off. Don't do that to that man. You wrong if you doing that. So y'all are misinterpreting what I'm saying. Yes, I'm passionate about it.
well, it's only because you get hype and you when you speak, you say women are this or women are
because most women, not most. Let me say this: a lot of women play games with men's children because you know that's the only way you can hurt him. You dangle what he wants.
But some
And
women-
if a dude is sitting on the other side of it, he's stupid too.
yeah.
Okay, I got something to say.
Go ahead, D.
Now, I don't know what I stepped into, but hey, everybody.
What's happening?
Hey,
What up, though? What up?
I'll
What up?
say
What up?
this.
What up?
That goes both ways. You have some deadbeat women where the father is the sole provider and
Exactly.
take care of the kids. So that goes both ways. And what I got to say, as far as women are concerned, from whatever woman can hear me out here that's doing it, if you laying up and entertaining a man that's not taking care of his kids, shame on you.
Hmm.
Point blank, period.
Yes.
You couldn't see me if you wouldn't take care of your kids, period. If you got kids and we dating and I don't ever see them or you don't ever talk about them, and no,
Yeah.
no, that's the problem.
That's
Women
lot of
still
times-
date these men. Women still want to date these men that don't take care of their kids.
That's
No.
Hold-
D,
hold-
that's
See, a
whole
lot of
nother
times
segment.
too
Hold on,
is the
hold on. Go ahead, Jason. You had your finger up.
Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
This shit pretty good.
I'll feed off of something. I think Travis misunderstood a lot of the times because he's speaking of Trav, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you had both your parents, right?
Yeah, the whole
Same
way.
household.
Been married. My mother was 15, he was 17, and he's 81 and she's 79. Now they still together.
Still together. That's a beautiful thing.
God bless.
Right. We like me myself, I do not remember my mama and daddy ever being together.
Mhm.
Like, so with speaking for myself, my mom was the one that raised me pretty much. My dad was like, I know him, I can point him out. I was like, oh, there you go. Like that's what a lot of people go through. Like a lot of people wasn't privileged to what Trav grew up with.
Yeah.
And so he's speaking of a place where, yeah, a man is supposed to do certain things and a woman is supposed to do other things. So he's just going off of what he's raised under.
And
Me
that's
myself, I can't relate to what Trav can relate to because my mama was the man and the woman in the family, and it drove her ass crazy. So she had to do two jobs.
mhm.
And a lot of America, a lot of Black Americans, we got to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's no knock on you. I wish I had mama and daddy.
No.
Right.
Jay, I don't take it that way, bro.
Right.
Go ahead, Ro.
So the issue is the original question is do parents, not male or female, why do parents use the children as pawns?
Yep.
It's an emotional
Mhm.
strategic move.
Mhm.
And in a lot of cases, it's because that's the only angle that you have to use. And like I said, I'll pass judgment and say my baby mothers did it to me 100 times more, but I did it once. So I have to take responsibility and I could understand why they did it. I did it once. I've done it maybe 4 times in the last 8 years, where I use the fact that my kids live with me and I got the 51% vote.
Mhm.
I'm
A
not
lot of
gonna
times,
I'm not gonna answer the phone on Christmas because y'all ain't give me no money for presents. So you don't need to talk. Yo, bro, I'm telling you, once again, this is not a right or wrong. This is a keep it funky, right? We're keeping it real. I'm telling you why I did it. I felt some kind of way when PlayStation 5s came out and I went and solicited my body, damn near, I'm exaggerating, but to get our children PlayStations. When I did it and everybody agreed to go half on the PlayStations, and I came in the crib with 2 PlayStations for each individual bedroom and 1 for the downstairs for the community party. And nobody gave me no bread because they was like, oh, you got it. You got on the Versace robe. And just know this is a different color from 10 minutes ago, suckers.
Let it go.
You know what I mean? You gotta understand.
people when you change it, I'm like, this nigga got a yellow one there.
Hold on. Go ahead, Tanya. Go ahead, Tanya.
I respect where Ro's coming from. Here's the thing, because he stood up and said, I do these things as well. So in essence, what I'm saying is that it's not only the women do it, the men also do it as well. And sometimes they even do it better than the woman.
That's true. Go ahead, Trav.
Versace robes.
And me and Rove had this conversation before. And I'm gonna say something to D too. I don't want your money. Just give me my goddamn kids. I keep saying it over and over. I wouldn't even want child support from a lady. Just give me my kids. And Rove feels different about that. Now back to what D said. And we'll reset the room on the topic. D said, if you're not talking about your kids and like you're dating a man and all that, right? If he's not talking about his kids, if he's not telling you what's going on and you're not seeing anything, right? Right? That's a problem.
Yeah.
So if I date a woman, my kids have nothing to do with you whatsoever.
Right.
Okay, but if you have kids, at some point there will be a conversation where you say, I got to pick my kids up.
Oh yeah, no.
Call
I'm
my
saying,
kids. That's my daughter calling. That's my son calling. I got to
yeah. All that. But
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
I ain't got to meet your kids. I ain't saying that.
I don't mean like that. I'm saying that you might as well be goddamn an island by itself. You ain't got no woman got a goddamn thing to do with my kids. None.
Yeah, and I get that, but what I'm saying is, at some point in conversations that we have, if a woman starts to talk about her kids, you're going to share your topic on your kids, and you're going to talk about your kids at some point or another because they're relevant in your life.
Yeah.
In my life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your life.
Yeah, yes.
But that's the mental to me that, oh, he talks about his kids. He's, evidently they're in his life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I agree.
So I got a question, y'all. What about the Disneyland parent versus the disciplinarian? Who's the bad guy or the girl?
The Disneyland.
It's
The
a
Disneyland
double-sided
parent.
coin. It's a double-sided coin. Mama's baby, papa's maybe. Like boys and girls, it's different. A man is gonna be way softer on his daughter than he would his son.
True.
Like it's and a daughter and a mother is gonna be softer on the son than the daughter. It's like I don't know why that is, but it's that.
I agree with that, but I don't
I
think
agree with that.
but I think it's what I mean by Disneyland parent and disciplinarian is okay, every other weekend you go to dad's house and dad does all the fun stuff because he don't have to pay everything that the disciplinarian parent.
That's where you fucked up though.
Go ahead.
You were on the right path and you drove off the road and you said pay. When you said pay don't got nothing to do with it. And I'm gonna tell you that only because I've been on both sides. I was for the first 9 and 11 years of my children's lives, I was the Disneyland parent. Every summer, every other holiday, every this, every that, they came with me and all we wanted to do was have fun. Soon as them kids came and lived with me, I became the everyday parent. And it had nothing to do with money. It was just the fact that I had more time to instill my own values on my children. And
yeah, not everybody has the bread that you have. Not everybody has the
it's
bread.
not about money. You can go to the park for free.
It ain't about money.
It's time.
You got
time.
You got 3 kids. If you have custody of your 3 kids, they all got a shower. That's
but listen to what I'm saying.
No,
But listen to that.
You got cable. They all want to watch. They all have their TVs.
That's not what the question is though.
But Nick, the dynamic
you're moving the goalpost, young lady. You said the Disneyland parent versus the everyday disciplinary parent. That has nothing to do with a dollar. It's all about the everyday impact you have on your children. I have 2 young men who were 9 and 11 years old that had their mom's influence on a primary basis, percentage-wise, 85 to 15 was the facts. And I'm a very active, I'm talking about, I drove back and forth to Baltimore, Maryland over 17,000 times in my life to be there for the weekend to a karate meet that lasted 14 seconds. And I turned around and drove all the way back home. I've done that. It has nothing to do with money. So the reason why that situation changes is because your values and your opportunities change. A lot of men out here, and I'm defending the men because I am one, a lot of men out here never get the chance to learn how to be a disciplinary parent. And a lot of women out here don't want to be the disciplinary parent. They don't got a choice. And so we all fucked up. We're all fucked up. But until you realize that you got to tighten up, I didn't understand this until I had to do it. I had to do it.
Okay, hold on, Ro.
Piggyback off what Rose said. To piggyback off what Rose said real quick, you can never be the same parent from the other side of the street you can from living inside that house with those
For
kids.
sure.
So a lot of men are the weekend, Disney
Mhm.
parent. So he wants to have a good time with them because he doesn't see them all the time. A week or 2 weeks
Right.
went by, he can't see them. But when you're inside that house and I can shower, you can take your shower and you can say, Dad, throw me a towel. I can throw him a towel. I can do that changes everything. And it makes it they see you. So
Mhm.
now you're not on Disney time. You're on, hey, don't do that. Pick that up. Grab that.
Welcome, Steve. Hey,
What up,
y'all.
What
boy?
up, Steve?
What up, big homie?
What up, fam? How y'all doing tonight?
Chilling,
Yeah, what
chilling.
up, though? It's
I
cracking.
honestly think like the Disneyland parent, it's hard to, I'm not saying that anybody should be in competition with them, but it's as a full-time mom, it's hard to put in all this work for 2 weeks straight. Picking up, dropping off, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, school, after school, homework, bath, extracurricular activities. I'm doing all that by myself, right? And then they go to their dad's house 2 weekends out of the month and
Turn up.
they're, yeah, and then they turn up, they do whatever they want to do, and then they come back home and now I have to get them back into, okay, well, wait a second. You have a bedtime, you have this. So now I'm the bad parent or I'm the disciplinary parent. I'm not the fun parent because I put in all this work to raising them so they can go visit somebody for 12 hours.
What do you
And
mean
then-
somebody? Don't minimize that man. Don't call him a somebody. That's they
I'm
father.
just talking
That's they
about in
father.
general.
Nah. Don't talk about in general like that.
Okay.
Use the words correctly,
Okay, listen. We're gonna keep going.
please.
Go-
Please.
That's it. Like, that's the difference with the Disneyland parent. It's just, they have the fun while Disneyland parent has the funds while the other parent does the raising. And that's just the reality of it.
Go ahead,
Well,
Ro. Oh, I'm sorry, D. Go.
I think as far as a Disneyland parent, you do that because you know there's something you're not doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's making
come
up.
let them come over and have all the fun they want, and I don't ever have to discipline them because I knew I should have picked them up 2 weeks ago and I didn't, and I know I've been slacking. So let them come and we can do whatever they want to do, and then
Oh,
you send them
D.
home.
But if you do that, that's harder on the disciplinarian.
Yes, it is. But kids know when the parents are not on one accord. I can go over daddy's and don't tell them nothing about me being suspended from school while I'm at mama's, and daddy don't inquire because he's a fine parent.
D.
No.
Hold on, go ahead.
Please.
Wait a minute, y'all. Wait.
Go ahead,
What man don't know his kids suspended from school?
A lot of them.
Listen,
A lot of them.
absent and
A lot of them.
inactive
A lot of
dads.
them. A lot of them.
We're not
A lot of
talking
them.
about
Absent and
two-parent
inactive
A lot of them.
households. We're
A lot of
talking
them.
about like what Jason said, where you were primarily with your mother and you go see your father and they're not on one
I ain't
accord.
listening to shit that nigga saying. Like, he's not my disciplinary because I barely live with you.
Hold on.
Y'all.
I get what you're saying,
Yo.
Jason. I
Kids
get what
know
you're
how to
saying.
play. Kids definitely know how to play.
Yo,
I
Who
get what
gonna
you're
be the
saying.
bad guy? Who gonna be the good guy? Kids know what they're doing.
Hold on. That's
Like,
that's the key right there. Kids,
That is.
everything, guys.
Yeah.
Kids, for the people out there that want to be that Disneyland person or don't want to be in their children's lives and they're sometimey and they just do it for money, whether it's man or woman, kids see everything and they will know and they will resent that parent later on.
bro, why,
mhm.
Hold on.
why brother ain't calling?
Hold on. Go ahead, Ro.
Yo, a lot of it, everything that we're saying right now, and this is the hard reality that we all gotta understand. We are selfish fucking people. We push our thoughts and beliefs off on these kids and they don't know nothing no better about them. We determine the narrative for our children. Be an adult, be mature, communicate with your co-parent, and talk on the best level possible. And if that other person doesn't want to communicate with you, then you continue to move as you're supposed to move. I teach my children, my friends, anybody I cross paths on a daily basis. You have to move genuine in every area of your life. regardless of how the other person treats you. If I open the door and you don't say thank you, I'm not gonna cuss you out. I did what I knew was right.
Right.
If I treat my children and my children's mothers a certain way, because I don't call my children's mothers baby mamas, because they're not. They're great women. You understand what I'm saying? I respect them. I got a lot of love for them. And I told y'all 2-3 podcasts ago, the best thing we ever did was stop having sex. Because now we can remove all the extra shit and just be parents.
Mm-hmm.
But we put a lot of our thoughts and feelings and beliefs on our own. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I sat and talked to somebody the other day, and the girl said, "Man, do you believe this? My son is 18 years old and he's in love with his girlfriend." And I was like, "Wow, that's great." She was like, "Yeah." I told him, "You crazy. Don't fall in love with the first girl you get with. Go out here and get a bunch of girls and then come back and find a." This is the narrative that we're pushing on our kids.
Yeah, that shows you.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
hold on.
Crazy.
Hold on, Ro. Go ahead, Trav.
Y'all, like, ladies, I'm talking to the ladies. You got cats that he don't know you got suspended from school. Like,
Yes.
There are
y'all, I'm asking these questions because I'm dumbfounded.
Yeah,
Like
you don't get it.
like I call in the morning. My phone, I hit you at 12. I'm emailing. My daughter's like, "Dad, I'm cool. What's going on? Is everything all right with you?" No, I want you to talk to me. Let me know. On the next thing I'll say is this. We all are talking about things that are product of broken relationships and broken marriages. So when something is broken, you got to do a lot of work to get to fix something good to come out of that. So a lot of times, man, those broken marriages and all that, boom. And then, a lot of men do turn and go another way completely after a divorce or a breakup and say, "Hey, man, that's your thing. Here go your child support each month. I'm gonna do my thing." For me, damn the child support. I want my kids.
Right.
I want my kids. So I know it's gonna always be a difficult situation for me because I'm super involved.
Right.
I mean, I took off the day for a 6-year-old birthday party, and I went and took cupcakes to school, and I was in there like I was one of the kids. So I don't understand not wanting to do that. Damn them motorcycles and damn them old cars. Cool. Go fuck with your kids, bruh.
Yeah, there's a lot of men out there that
But they don't, because like
But
I
I've learned there's a lot of people out.
hold on. One at a time.
Just stop using men. Say
Damn, said it.
people, y'all.
Hold on, Rory. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tootie.
No, I was saying I got suspended from school twice in 2 weeks for fighting. My daddy didn't know nothing about either one. And the only
was
reason
hella
he
bad.
found out about the first one was because his mama picked me up from school. But he didn't know nothing about the second one.
Wow.
But my dad wasn't an active dad. My dad didn't even come to my high school graduation. And his reason was because I didn't give him an invitation. But I called him and told him
My
what
dad
it
didn't
was.
come to mine.
Hold on, Jay.
But he didn't come to my high school graduation. But to add, my stepmother came, so did my stepdad and my real mom.
He ain't come to your graduation.
No, he did not. He never came to any of my performances at school. My dad was a dad who I pay child support. I keep your hair fixed. I throw a couple dollars in your pocket. That's what I do. My dad was not a hands-on dad.
Wait a minute, he didn't come to
now getting
graduation.
to know him. I just found out today my daddy liked chocolate.
Man, I wouldn't have fed that nigga a forward sandwich. I wouldn't have got a nigga a forward sandwich. No.
Hold on.
No, but the thing is, I had to learn that whatever his issue was, it didn't have a damn thing to do with me. That's his shit.
Right. That's right.
So I can't allow him to make me feel broken because he don't have his shit together.
Right.
So it ain't got a damn thing to do with me being mad, me being resentful, but I don't play. I don't.
That's right.
I know who I am, and
then
I'm cool with her, and I don't play them games.
Go ahead.
So I'm not upset. I'm not disrespectful, but you're not gonna run no bullshit on me. I know my dad is a severe alcoholic. He's drank himself into a couple of strokes. Did he put the bottle down?
Right. Go ahead, Steve.
And I can't stop him from drinking. I ain't buying it. But
Well, I know I came in late into the conversation, but I see both sides of the story as somebody who's trying to raise a child, even though I'm still married, but I come from a broken relationship, broken marriage. But my father wasn't about that. We didn't reconnect till I was almost 35. But the thing about it is just that as parents, we have to understand that there's so many other things going on in this life that we have to teach our kids about, that if we sit here and struggle with the relationships of our past and the ghosts that are in our closet, we're going to continue to bring these things into the things that we bring up with our kids. You know, whether it be trying to teach our young Black boys about how to deal with the police, deal with other Black men that ain't, you know what I'm saying, that's just as ignorant as they can be right now. It's just so many other things that we got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? We still got to worry about making sure they get through school. We talking about kids being suspended. How about we make sure we put our kids in the right position? So when we go up to the school, talk about, well, what did my son do? He was defending himself. Why is he suspended? You know, those are the issues we should be dealing with, instead of saying, if another parent's not going to be there, we can't control that, but you still have to give them the best parent you are, whether you are the disciplinarian or whoever you are. You gotta do that. How you doing, ma'am?
Right.
The Fed is in the building, y'all.
So, you know, so as parents, we have to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward. Even if we're not there yet, you still have to try and give it 100% of what you got. Because if you don't, it's gonna be one of those situations where your kids are gonna be in that repetitive cycle that we always talk about, because everybody wants to be mad, everybody wants to be selfish, like my man said. And then we're sitting here just perpetuating everything over and over and over again. I think responsibility as parents starts with us and how we conduct ourselves and what we show our kids and what we teach them.
Agreed.
I totally agree, because what people fail to realize is that there's a lot of parents that talk to their kids about the other parent. You know, if you mad at your kid's dad, they shouldn't know anything. When my parents got divorced, me and my brother didn't even know anything was wrong. We never seen an argument. We didn't understand how y'all getting divorced when all we seen is y'all doing okay. So the thing is, we put too much on our kids. Our kids are too in our business. You know what I'm saying? The woman want to talk about the man to her kids or vice versa. The kids shouldn't know that. They shouldn't know that.
I think the kids should know something, and I think it depends on how old the kids are. And I honestly think that when it comes down to co-parenting and the lack of thereof of the other parent, because the other person chose not to be there, whatnot, it really comes down to a lot of communication. There needs to be some sets of communication without stepping on people's boundaries. But I also think that depending on how old the child is, there needs to be conversations, because just like you said, Dee, when your parents split, you were blindsided by that. That's devastating to a child. But if we're able to sit down and have that healthy conversation, and we put the kids on the right path, and they see that two parents are able to co-parent without one being in Disneyland or without one using one as a pond and all the other stuff, it becomes a healthier environment. But when we put all emotions and stuff into it, it does filter to the kids, regardless if you mean it or not. And it becomes toxic. A lot of times the parent takes out against the other parent, and they use it through the kids. I don't know if that made sense, but
I know what you're saying. But just like you said, a tough has to be had, but you don't want the kids to form an opinion of that parent based on what you say. You know,
no, because the kids are going to see regardless.
Let's go to the panel because the hands are raised. Go ahead.
Okay.
Trav. Go ahead, Trav.
I appreciate this podcast for real tonight, y'all, and especially from the ladies. And I'm gonna tell you why, man. And Jay and Steve, like, cause I was raised differently. Like I said, I'm the baby of 5 sons, and we were all together. You know what I mean? Like, I saw it constantly. So when Duty says something that goes completely against the way I was raised, you know what I mean? And then D says, this is what's going on. I'm a little scared. So when I hear men not going to graduations or not saying, I'm gonna help you out, or I'm gonna pick up the kids, or things like that I see, it's strange to me. Like, I don't even know. I can't even drink that coffee. It's too hot. I don't even know. It don't make sense.
A lot of men do.
So I really appreciate y'all tonight, man, because I'm scared. Like, I don't think it's only one way you take care of your kids. That shit, I don't care about that dudes. The main thing is that you get one shot at being a dad. And once they're grown, they ain't gonna never respect you the same way if you don't do what you're supposed to do.
That part.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Tanya.
Let me say this. You know, I respect the guys that's on this panel. Unfortunately, as a nation of people, we all don't think and act the same. And that's the sad thing about it. Whereas Travis talk to his kids daily. Well, you have men out there that don't do that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so therefore you may not, that parent or that father may not know what's going on in that child's life, because that parent is majority of the time he's absent. But with this is going on with the parental alienation, what happens is that the child becomes feeling fearful, becomes having resentment for that other parent, and feeling like the other parent is unworthy. So unworthy. So therefore, I mean, we as a nation of people have to learn how to work on this together, because it's just not the women's fault. The sword cuts both ways.
Agreed. Go ahead, Tootie.
So I was 5 when my mom caught my dad cheating, and I was there when she found out. She did it. She found out over the phone. And so I remember her being on the phone, and then she starts crying. She sits on the couch, on the chair, hands in her face, hands on her face, and she was crying. I was like, "What are you crying for?" And she said, "Because your daddy don't love me no more." And I'm like, "Well, who said it? How do you know?" And she said, "Because he got a girlfriend." Well, she had called and spoken with my now stepmother. And I don't think my mom would have told me the way that she told me had it not been right there in the moment. And that changed like a lot of my perception of my dad, because I was smart enough to know you're not supposed to have a wife and girlfriend. I knew that was wrong at
Right.
5. And so I know my mom was bitter for a while. And I knew even then, not knowing what to call it, but I understood the fact that my dad was still selfish. So sometimes you do have parents who talk bad about the ex mom, either way.
Mhm.
And my mom was guilty of that. And I think my dad was kind of guilty, but not as much, because he already had what he wanted.
Right.
And if my mom hadn't left, I think my parents would still be married to this day. But what we've all learned, because I have 3 brothers, I'm the oldest, we've all learned none of us are my dad's favorite. My dad is his own favorite. So he's just who he is. And it doesn't make us bitter, but we all treat him kind of the way that we've all grown up. Like our moms were our sole suppliers. So
Right.
we treat him accordingly.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of what it boils down to. So I don't think that I don't think all parents necessarily slander the other parent to the kids, but I think in that situation, I was there when she confirmed it and found out.
Right.
And I think that's why my perception of it is a little bit different.
Agreed. Go ahead, Ro.
He's on mute.
You're on mute.
Hold on.
You're still on mute, bro.
Yeah, she was trying to block me out from greatness, y'all. I'm glad I'm back. What I'm gonna say is I have a very minor situation that happened to me. I used to hate my father for the things that I seen him and my mother go through. Okay. And then I turned 16 years old and I had my first child on the way. And my mother was like, "Yo, I don't know how to explain to you what you're going through." And I went and I sat down with my father. He drove down from Pennsylvania to Virginia, picked me up. We went to the hotel on the beach. We sat on the balcony. I was 16 years old. My father said, "Yo, this is what is going on." And we had a whole grown-up conversation. And I've never looked at my father the same from then, and I didn't look at my mother the same. Because a lot of stuff as children we're not supposed to know about. It's our job as adults to protect our children from nonsense. It's our job. It's our job. Wear that. Stop being parents part-time. All the way. I don't care if it benefits you or if it doesn't. If you're right or you're wrong, you don't let your kids know. Some people, I'm not saying everybody, I'm not saying male or female, because like I said, I've had my kids and I was a Disneyland parent at some point also. It doesn't matter whether it benefits you or not. Your parental job is to protect them children at all costs. And if they believe that their father is God, let them keep believing. If they believe their mother is queen of the earth, let them keep believing that. Don't never change that narrative for them. Just keep doing your job. Always move with a genuine heart, and God is going to treat you right, brother, sisters. There it is.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Steve.
Rogue, salute. That's great stuff right there. I agree with you. You gotta protect the kids. My situation was my pops he's just a different type of dude. And that conversation that you had at 16, we didn't have till I was 35. You know what I'm saying? So it took a long time for us to really talk, but it takes that sit down and having that conversation to understand the man that he is. And sometimes as children, we're not ready for those conversations. Right. And whether my mom was trying to protect me or not, she was one of those that didn't bash him. But when I was old enough to make what it was out for myself, I seen for myself, you know, you can only sit on the porch waiting for Pops to come through so many times before you make your own decision on how you feel about your father. But
yeah,
time heals all wounds, you know what I'm saying? It might be scarred sometimes, but you know, I made it through that situation. But I want to speak on something that Nita said. When we're talking about parents that aren't what we feel like parents should be, you have to go into every relationship when you're in a situation where you could possibly bring kids into this life. You have to understand that at some point in time you may be alone, whether it's breakup, whether it's death, or whatever it is, and you have to understand that at some point in time it may just be you. And you have to also know that you're gonna have to have the courage. You're gonna have to have everything it takes to try to do this by yourself, because you never know what's going to happen with that other person. You could be with the person, they die. Anything can happen, but you have to be prepared, mentally prepared as well, to know that when you're in these type of situations and you bringing kids into this earth, what is your responsibility? What are you going to do if everything ends up going wrong?
Agreed.
We all have that responsibility. We're not ready for it. And we never hope that it goes that way. But we should always have that thought in our mind when we out here acting and having these adult situations.
And that's exactly what I would say, ladies and gentlemen. It takes two to tango. We both made these kids. It shouldn't be one person doing the most and the other person being, what's that word? Lackadaisical. Is that the word?
That's cool.
And you know, I don't know big words, y'all. Don't judge me. But don't be that parent. Be together. Join together. Put your feelings aside. Who cares? If I and you hate me, who gives a fuck? It has nothing to do with us. We brought these kids in here together.
Right.
Join forces for these kids.
Yeah.
Period.
Well,
not everybody can do that. Not everybody's prepared for that, though. Not everybody's ready for that.
Then they shouldn't be fucking and having kids.
Yeah.
But that's what we was talking about, though. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that they ready for the get down, but they're not ready for everything that comes behind it.
For the go down.
I don't disagree with Nita about having communication with the other person. But what about when it doesn't? What about when it's not working? They don't want to be a part. They don't have the money, or they don't want to be there. They got their own thing.
Be done. Sign over your rights and be done.
Right.
No, that's not the answer either. That's not the
No,
answer
that's
either.
not the answer.
I know it's not, but
this.
I'm just saying when people act like that, I mean, go ahead.
You still have to find it in yourself to do the right thing. Like my man said, you have to do the right thing. You still have to be a parent, regardless if they're not gonna be there, you have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my wife had that conversation, not that we breaking up or anything, but I told her, if something was to happen to me, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, well, shoot, if something ever happened to you, you want to take it. Just be responsible. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things, you know, like regardless of that, like our stuff is to the side. Like my focus is on making sure that I make sure he's straight, you know, and make sure that he's the man he needs to be.
Hold on. Hold on. Go ahead, D.
Okay. Now, one thing I can say, I'm thankful for my father and my mother that they didn't go through that whole where they was arguing, you know, in front of us and things like that. Because I tell you this, after they divorced, we didn't feel like anything changed because he was still so instrumental in our lives. And my dad to this day is my best friend. Had my dad walked away, I wouldn't know how to value myself the way I do when it comes to men. You know, there's so many things that tools I wouldn't have had he stepped out, you know, and left. So I'm thankful that he's my best friend, and he taught me so much about a lot of things, relationships, things that my mother couldn't teach me. Had he not taught me, I'd be out there, going for the okie doke, but he showed me how I'm supposed to be treated by a man. And if that's not how you're treated, then get to stepping.
Right. And see, truth be told, I was raised just by my mom. I mean, I knew my dad, but he moved to the Bay Area.
Her daddy and my daddy is brothers.
Yeah, they're brothers. And my dad took the wrong path. And my mom actually raised me and my sister. And then I have a brother. And I was raised like going out wise. I couldn't go out unless my brother was with me. And so he was my male figure. No. So it was hard for me to relate to not being the strong woman, because that's all I knew from my mom was a strong woman. She was a provider, she was a protector, she was all that. So that's why when like Trav, when you talk about men are supposed to provide and protect, growing up, I'd never seen that. But go ahead, Trav.
And Nick, me and you've talked several times about that, like, because I'm hardwired to do that at all costs. But I'm gonna go back and ask Tootie one question. Tootie, you said he, for lack of a better term, he left your mom and married his jump off. So my question is, was she okay with him not dealing with y'all?
Well, let me say this, because I'm not gonna say she was okay with him not dealing with us, but she dealt with us. Like, I'll tell anybody, my step parents, they the bomb. I wouldn't trade either one of them, no matter what the situation was. That was shit that was beyond my control. But both of my parents, they made damn good choices in giving us step parents. I love my step parents.
Okay, so that answers my question. So he didn't have nobody pulling on him saying, don't mess with them kids. He made a conscious decision to cut a path, to cut another path.
My dad has an affection for alcohol. Alcohol is his favorite. My stepmama wasn't his favorite wife, neither was my mama. My daddy is his favorite everything. My daddy is extremely selfish. You meet him, you think he the coolest dude in the world till somebody start telling you some shit about him. And I'm being very transparent here. My dad, and I'm not saying he's a bad person. He just is who he is.
Right.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. Like, well, what happens if you're trying to, what happens if you're accused of using your children as pawns, but you're not?
Baby, they talked about Jesus. Fuck them folks. Let me tell you how I function in my life. All shit aside, what other people think about you. Hey, hear me out. What other people think about you was none of your business. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Fuck them people. They can think what they want to think. You know the truth. You don't have to explain.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Need to give me an example.
So, okay, so if somebody's saying, okay, you're controlling, you're dictating, you're using the kids as pawns, but you know that you've reached out and you said, hey, can you help me with this, that, and the other? And then they shut you down, they're no. Or they don't show up when they're supposed to show up. And then you just so happen to be out and about with your children and you see the children's other parent out with their other person with their kids, and they canceled on their kids, but yet you're
on schedule.
I'm sorry?
How do you cancel when you're on schedule?
Oh, what happens?
No.
Talking about
My question is, huh?
He's talking about a Build-A-Bear.
Oh, you talking about a Build-A-Bear nigga? Okay, cool. I get that. But my question again. But my question again, because y'all, I don't understand. It's like
speak from not your caliber, not your type of guy, but speak from.
What I'm saying is, this weekend is my weekend. I can't call you on Friday and say I can't do it.
Because you're choosing not to, but that's not always the choice, baby.
Right, but that's the right thing to do.
You shouldn't, but that doesn't mean people don't do it. People call in to work. They call in and say, "Oh, I can't come get the kids."
I get
So,
that.
I mean, not
just because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean it's not a normal thing for other people, sweetie.
Mhm.
It happens.
That's the thing. Hold on, bro. Hands up. Go ahead, bro.
So quick question though, Lanita. Be honest. Have you ever used your kids as a pawn?
yes.
All right, so then your question is null and void.
No,
If
it's
you
not
did-
none of
no,
void.
no, 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 no.
No,
Let me-
because
That's not true.
let me no, hold on.
my question is not non and void.
You're not
Because
letting me
just
finish
like,
my whole statement.
Let him
though. Let me
finish.
finish
Let
my
him
whole
finish.
statement.
Let him finish.
okay,
Let me finish my whole statement. You said, have you ever been accused of using your kids as a pawn and you did? It's an emotional maturity, and this is what I was going back to. We have all done it, so we're all guilty of it. Some of the majority of us who have kids at some point have done it. I don't care how small it is or big it is. I don't care. We did it. The first thing we have to do as adults is take personal responsibility for our part that we play in it. And what I said, I'm gonna go back to it, and I don't want it to be cliche or put it in quotation marks to try to feel like I'm dropping the mic. Take personal responsibility and always move genuine. If you know in your heart that you've done it once, then it doesn't matter. A lie is a lie. Period.
but who's
That's the
lying?
answer to your question, though. It's not you didn't ask about who's lying. You asked, what if you're being accused of using your kids as a pawn and you never done
okay.
it?
So
But
let
you
me
said you
clear.
done
Let me clear something up real quick. So
Please.
if you're being accused of using your kids as a pawn, right, and that's not something that happens all the time,
But it's happening.
but it's happened, and it I'm not trying to make an excuse for myself because, like I just said, I've done it before. I have 3 girls, and I raised them by myself. So it has happened. I'm guilty of it. But what I'm saying is, if it's happened one time, if I said, you know what, just forget it, I'll take care of it myself, just leave it alone, right? That's me using my kids as pawn. I'm not gonna ask you for it. I'm gonna just take care of it for myself. Don't call me back. Whatever.
That's because his solution wasn't the same as yours. He had a solution, and you said, "Don't worry about it. Whatever. I'll do it myself."
That's not
No,
true.
no, no. He gave you a solution.
He didn't
You
give
just
me a
didn't like it.
solution. He didn't give
He
me a
gave you some-
solution. He didn't give me a solution. So if I'm
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me calm the room.
Right.
Tanya had her hand up. Tanya, go ahead.
Let me say this, because I think this is very important. Many parents aren't aware of, parental alienation is a form of abuse because it causes the child to have emotional behaviors. So the thing about it is we need to come up with a solution. So what pretty much what we tell our audience if they're going through stuff like this, because we're all personally going through our own little thing, with our spouses or whatever the case, baby daddy, whatever you want to call it, what will we actually tell the audience or those that's listening? What is a solution for this?
I've always said the solution is always to have open communication and honest. I think that if you're able to be honest and you're able to have communication with the other parent, you're able to co-parent effectively, especially if the person is open and honest. Hey, I can't do this, but I can do this. Because at the end of the day, and I hate using that term, but at the end of the day, the kids don't deserve one parent when they had 2. I honestly believe that we are supposed to operate in what's in the best interest of the children at all times. And both parents are supposed to sacrifice. It should not be just one parent sacrificing to make sure these kids are taken care of. So I honestly think that to eliminate pawning the kids off, to eliminate alienating or abusing children and all that other stuff is really just having the best open and communication and being honest with each other. Because at one point you was open and communicating when we was making kids, and then now all of a sudden now you can't. I don't understand that part, but I honestly think that when you're able to do that, it makes things a whole lot easier.
I'll speak on that. Go ahead, Trav. We got to keep it at a minute or less because we got to get.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap it up. I want to ask. This is directly for Nita. I want to ask the question. Nita, you said you got three daughters, correct?
Yes.
And he and your ex-husband pays child support, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So would you swap 100% involvement for that money that he pays you every month? You get no money, but he's 100% involved and he takes up all the slack. Would you swap that?
I would swap. I don't know if I would swap all of it.
Shit, I told y'all I'm
And you
100%
don't gotta take
back
care
on that
of
bullshit.
it.
Hey,
I
The
wouldn't.
kids gotta be taken
The
care of.
reason why, and you asked me that question, and the reason why I would not swap all of the child support money for him to be here 100% of the time is because that does not make sure that these kids are taken care of
Taken
in
care
this
of.
particular household.
One has nothing to do with the other. That's like apples
Exactly.
and oranges. One has
It
nothing to
doesn't.
do with the
But
other.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. If he came and he was able to pick up where I can, because I can't be in two places at once, but if he was able to help out more, and he called one day and he said, hey, look, I can only give you this versus that, it wouldn't even be an issue. It would not be an issue because I've been in that situation before where I'm like, okay, you know what? I get it. And one thing about me is I'm patient and I'm understanding. And that's two big qualities of me, because if you can come and you can talk to me, I'll listen to you and I can understand where you're coming from. I don't think I would say, no, you can't give me nothing, because I'm raising these
Right.
girls.
Okay.
But I can tell you that
Hold on.
I'll be able to
Breathe. Hold on. Jason, your comment, minute or less, y'all, because I got to get ready to shut it down.
Yeah, goddamn, right.
Okay. That's where we're at. I'm gonna
Yeah,
Forgot again.
really.
You forgot again.
Yeah, you did. Love ya. Tootie, go ahead.
I'm good.
You good?
I mean, I think I think we've had a discussion and everybody's probably looking at things a little bit different from a different angle. That's all I want. I'm good.
I agree. D.
And
Hold
as
on,
late as
Steve.
I came in on the comment.
Hold on, Steve. It's D's turn. I'm going through the panel.
I mean, basically, if everybody just mind your business, as a mother, as a parent, mind your business and do what you're supposed to do. If everybody mind their business and stop worrying about what the next one is doing, then it will be a little different. But from what Trav was saying, money, what he was asking about the money and stuff, that's apples and oranges. That's two different things. You know, just because you come to see my kids don't mean that you can't give me nothing. You know, come on now.
Right. Okay, Steve, go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out where to begin. There's a lot to take in this
A
one.
minute,
So,
a minute or less.
no, I got it. So I'm gonna say this. The biggest thing is that sometimes we got to get out our own way as parents. You know, either you want involvement, you want money, we want all these things to be a part once you're separated from the other parent, but you got to figure it out for yourself, what's best for you in your situation. If he giving you money, he don't want to be a partner. It is what it is. If he's there 100% of the time and he can't give you no money, then it is what it is. You have to make sure that you're still doing everything you can to be that parent. It's hard, it sucks, but guess what?
Yes.
As an adult, that's what we signed up for.
That's what you
we
signed
laid
up.
down.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody you lay down with, they may be good in the bed, but that don't mean they're a good parent.
Right.
They'll talk to you crazy when we laying up in it, when we laying down together. They'll talk to you like it's good, but then when you see what their parenting skills is, you're like, that's really you. You two different people.
Here you go. And on that note, y'all, this was a great podcast. I think a lot of people needed to hear some things. I appreciate y'all. It takes two to tango, folks out there. Take care of your responsibility. Fuck the feelings of each other. Take care of your children. Don't let an outsider influence you. Don't let another relationship influence you. These are your kids. Take care of them together. Well, sign up to L.U.S.T. Let Us Speak Truth on YouTube. Subscribe. And we out of here until next time, y'all. Holla.